markets have started at a bleak note, and also we're seeing the oil prices jumping over the $60 per barrel. On Friday, we did see a lower closing for the U.S. equities on the back of U.S. Fed not extending capital break requirements for the banks. In fact, in U.S. on Friday, the Dow Jones did fall as Federal Reserve did not extend the pandemic era capital break for banks. This was a temporary relief for capital requirement rule for the U.S. banks. Bond yields also did rise to 1.73 levels. This was a 14-month high, and do note that bond yields did start 2021 below the 1% mark. In fact, we are also seeing that the S&P 500 index did weaken on Friday. We did see the S&P 500 bank index drop close around 1.6%. Technology shares did close higher, and U.S. Yields did retreat from the highest levels of the day as investors weighted the risk of inflation with economic growth accelerating. In fact, we did see the Dow Jones down 0.7% to close at 32,628. Nasdaq was up 0.7%, while S&P did close flat at 3913. Europe stocks did slip on Friday after France imposed a regional lockdown to curb the spread. Bank stocks did lead the sectoral decline. The pan-European stock 600 fell nearly around 0.8%, with France CAC 40 dropping 1.1% after the nation imposed a new 4-week lockdown from Friday. DAX and FTSE were down nearly around 1% each as well. We did see after Nikkei's disappointing revenue forecast, German sportswear makers Adidas and Puma also fell more than 2% each. European stocks did still gain nearly around 0.2% for the week as a rally in the automakers, as well as the sign that the U.S. Federal Reserve will maintain low interest rates despite an expected surge in economic growth, outweighing the concerns with the rising yields. In terms of the Asian stocks, of course, have started slightly at a lower note, with investors fretting over the rise in bond yields and inflation as economic activity is picking up. Turkey's lira did tumble after the central bank head was replaced. U.S. equity futures fluctuated. MSCI's Asia Pacific gauge slipped as shares in Japan and South Korea declined, while Australia's index climbed. The Turkish lira has slumped as much as 15% in early Asian trading after the President Erdogan removed the central bank governor following a sharper than expected hike in interest rates. The dollar advanced against most G10 currencies. Nikkei Index was down by nearly around 1.9%, while Topix was down close to around 1.3% in the morning trade. Australian stocks traded positive by 0.3%. Oil rose more than 2% in a volatile trading on Friday, but finished the week about 7% lower. Brent crude settled up by nearly around $1.25 a barrel, or 2%, at $64.5 a barrel. WTI U.S. crude also did rise by nearly around $1.4 or 2.4% to $61.4 a barrel. WTI futures were trading largely flat at nearly around $59.7 a barrel. Gold traded up by 0.5% to close at $17.44 an ounce. Gold futures were flat at nearly around $17.34 an ounce in the early morning trade.